Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel SK Classes. I am Gaikwad Sapana and today we will start with a cell organelle that is nothing but the mitochondria. Okay, so as you know that childrens, yes, most of the cell organelles are present in the eukaryotic type of cell. Okay, well defined, well developed structure they have. So what is eukaryote? Yes, we had already learned about the eukaryotic cell. That is U stand for true and karyote, that is nothing but what? Nucleus. Okay, so those living organism, they have true type of nucleus. Okay, well defined nucleus with membrane bounded structure is nothing but what? Eukaryote. Not only nucleus, rather than nucleus, they have the many cell organelles are present in the cytoplasm. Okay, and they also have a membrane bounded structure around it. Okay, among that cell organelles, we will see in detail about the mitochondria. Can you see? Yes, zoom in. The structure of what the mitochondria I highlighted here. Yes, actually many cell organelles are present, but today we will see about the mitochondria, so that's why I am just highlighting the mitochondria only. Okay, so yes, it is a sausage shape, that is cylindrical shape structure, double membrane structure, having matrix. Okay, outer membrane, inner membrane. We will see in detail the structure of mitochondria in this session. Now see the history regarding to the mitochondria. Yes, so mitochondria were discovered first time in the cell in 1840s. Okay, Richard Altman in 1894 described them as cell organelles and called bioblast. What? That is bioblast. The term mitochondria was coined by Carl Benda in 1898. Okay, then Leonard Michaelis in 19th century discovered the Janus green as a vital stain for mitochondria. Yes, the stain is given to the mitochondria. That is nothing but what? Janus green. Okay, then Frederick Mewes in 1904 made the first observation of mitochondria in plants. The name of plant is, that is Nymphaea alba. Okay, that is the name of plant. Then the Rigard in 1908 suggested that they contain proteins as well as the lipids. Okay, then Benjamin Kingsbury in 1912 first related them with cell respiratory exclusively based on morphological observation. That is morphological visible observation, visible characteristics. Then Warburg and Otto Heinrich Warburg 1913 stated that extracted particles from pig, that is guinea pig liver, were linked to respiration called grana. Okay, so once again see children, yes, mitochondria were firstly discovered in 1840s. Yes, then Richard Altman in 1894 they describe for that the cell organelles called bioblast. Okay, the term mitochondria then coined by the Carl Benda in 1898. Okay, next then Michaelis in 19th century discovered the stain for the mitochondria, that is nothing but what? Janus green. Then Mewes in 1904 made the first observation of mitochondria in plant, that is Nymphaea alba. Okay, then Rigard in 1908 suggested that yes, they contain the proteins as well as the lipids one. Okay, then Kingsbury in 1912 first related them with cell respiratory exclusively based on, yes, their morphological observation. Okay, and finally here Warburg and Warburg in 1913 stated that yes, the extracted particles are, yes, from the pig liver were linked to the respirations called grana 1. Okay, see more information about the history of mitochondria, that is secrets. They discovered about the ATP generated in it. Okay, that is ATP energy molecules were generated in the mitochondria. It was given by the sequence. Okay, then Colliker first observed the mitochondria in muscles of insect. Okay, Altman and Fleming, as you know that, discovered the mitochondria. Altman called it as a bioblast and Fleming called it as a phyla. Okay, and Petzius he called it as a sarcosome. Okay, so these are the discovery regarding to the mitochondria. Let's see the structure of mitochondria. Now see in detail the structure of mitochondria. Okay, so mitochondria are important cell organelles, okay, essential for aerobic respirations of eukaryotic type of cell, and they are popularly called as a powerhouse of the cell. Why it is called as the powerhouse of the cell? Because they generate the energy that is in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, because they are the center of release of energy. And yes, mitochondria was first observed by Kaliker in 1880. Okay, so see here the structure of mitochondria exactly. And yes, what is the meaning of mitochondria then? Yes, so mito stand for thread and chondria stand for granule. Okay, the word mitochondrion comes from the Greek word that is mitos, means thread, chondrions means granules. The mitochondria is a membrane-bound organelle found in most eukaryotic type of cells. The cells that make up plants, animals, fungi and many other form of life. Okay, so these structures are sometimes described as the cellular power plants. Yes, because they generate most of the cells supply of ATP molecules, that is adenosine triphosphate, used as a source of chemical energy. Okay, so yes, the name is mitochondria, that is thread like granules, and it is present in eukaryotic type of cells, and the structures are sometimes described as the cellular power plants just only because of what? The energy that is in the form of ATP molecules, that is adenosine triphosphate. Now see the characteristics of mitochondria: size, shape and number of mitochondria. Firstly, see size of mitochondria. The length of mitochondria is near about 3 micrometer to 5 micrometer. Okay, that is length 3 to 5. The width of the mitochondria is 0.5 micrometer to 2 micrometer. Okay, so this is about what? The size. Now about the shape, mostly the sausage shape or cylindrical one. Okay, so the shape of the mitochondria is cylindrical one. So number of mitochondria. Okay, so cells have near about 500 to 1600 mitochondria per cell. Okay, so children see here number depends on activity of cell, that is a cell which is metabolically more active has more number of mitochondria. For an example, in animal cell has more mitochondria than plant cell, because animal cells more active than plant cell. Means what? Their number also varies in different cell types depending upon the amount of work done by the cell and its energy requirement. Okay, some exceptions are there, that is microcrystarias, they have one mitochondria. Chlorella have one mitochondria. Then trypanosoma have one mitochondria. Chows it have 5 lakh mitochondria, that is giant amoeba. Okay, so the number varies greatly, and the lifespan of mitochondria is near about 5 to 10 days. Okay, now see the structure of mitochondria. Children, can you see the structure of mitochondria in the figure? Yes, it is a double membrane structure, outer side, outer membrane, and inner, that is inner membrane. Okay, two membranes are there, outer and inner membrane. Okay, so it is a double membrane bound organelle. Okay, so outer membrane is permeable and it is smooth, okay, regular one, and inner membrane is less permeable and it is folded at various places. Okay, that is infoldings are there. So these folds are called as cristae. Cristae. Okay, so that is infolding structure of inner membrane, nothing but what? Cristae. And yes, it was discovered by the Pallade. Okay, the scientist name Pallade. Now see, on cristae are present certain particles, that is oxysomes are there. It is also called as elementary particles, that is Moran particles also, because of the name of the scientist were discovered. So that's why Moran particles, name of scientist F. Moran. Okay. So mitochondria is consist of, yes, outer membrane, inner membrane, then a fluid which is present inside the mitochondria, nothing but what? Matrix. Within this matrix there is presence of what? ATP synthesis particles. Okay, then ribosomes and the DNA molecules and some granules are there. Okay, So this is the general structure of mitochondria. Outer layer, that is envelope of mitochondria, which is for the protection and the permeability of some chemicals, okay. And inner membrane, that is enfolding structures are there called cristae, on which the F1 particles are there, okay. And then within the inner membrane, fluid is present called matrix. Within this, the granules, then some ribosomes and DNA molecules are present. And see one point here, the space is present in between the inner membrane and outer membrane is called as the intermembrane space. Inter, in between, okay. So in between two membrane space, that is the intermembrane space. Now see about the F1 particles. Yes, the inner membrane is less permeable, okay, and it is folded at various places, that is enfoldings are there, and these folds are called as, yes, cristae. Okay, so on this cristae there are some certain particles are present, that is nothing but what, oxysomes, and it is also called as elementary particles or F1 particles, okay. So what exactly these particles are? See here the structure, can you see? It consists of three parts, that is base, stalk is nothing but pedicel, and head, three parts, okay. So base is attached to the, yes, inner membrane of the mitochondria, that is FO, and here pedicel, that is stalk, which attached to the head and base of the oxysomes, okay. So this is the structure which have base, stalk and head. So these are the main parts of oxysomes. The base, it is also known as FO, okay. And now see in F1 portion, that is head portion, okay, head of the particle, that is head, topmost position. In that, it continues the ETS cycle, that is electron transport system, okay. So in this portion, the ETS cycle will be continue. It is very important point, that is ETS cycle is continuing in, yes, which part? That is F1 part of mitochondria. So for the synthesis of ATP molecule, yes, the ETS is very important site, okay, that is in the F1 portion, okay. So ATPase enzymes is present in the head region, okay. ATPase, that is the enzyme which is known as ATP synthetase enzyme, okay. So very important point, that is for the synthesis of ATP molecule, the ETS is very important, okay. And ATPase enzyme is present in the head of, yes, oxysomes, okay. So yes, these F1 particles, that is oxysomes, are present on, yes, inner membrane of the mitochondria. Now see the matrix of mitochondria, yes, that is fluid which is present inside, it is known as matrix. It consists of all enzymes of Krebs cycle, yes. So hence Krebs cycle occur in matrix of mitochondria. Only succinic dehydrogenase, that enzyme of Krebs cycle, is attached to the inner membrane of mitochondria, okay. So the circular DNA is present in matrix of mitochondria, near about 2 to 10 copies are there. So that's why mitochondria have power of replication, because of what? Yes, DNA, with the help of DNA they can replicate, so that's why they have the power of replication. Each mitochondria arise from pre-existing mitochondria, yes, just like a cell. Every cell, they will be produced with the help of, yes, the pre-existing cell. Likewise, mitochondria are also, they produce new mitochondrial cell with the help of, yes, pre-existing cells. So children, can you see the blue color, that is DNA, circular DNA which is present in the matrix, okay. And see green color, circular structure, small globular structure, nothing but what? Ribosomes, that is they have the 70S ribosomes. So the mitochondria can synthesize its own protein because they have their own ribosomes, yes. So as it has their own DNA, their own ribosomes, means it can replicate and synthesize proteins. So that's why mitochondria is also known as semi-autonomous organelle. Semi-half autonomous, automatically they can synthesize protein as well as they can replicate itself, okay. So that's why the margulis scientist, he said that the mitochondria are the prokaryotic cells which live symbiotically in eukaryotic type of cell. Why prokaryotic type of cell? Yes, they have a certain characteristics like prokaryote. They have their own DNA, their own ribosomes, means they can synthesize the protein as well as they can replicate with DNA. Okay, just like an prokaryotic type of cell. So the scientist Margulis, he said that mitochondria are prokaryotic cells which lives symbiotically in eukaryotic cell. Okay, so we can say that the mitochondria is cell within cell organelle. Okay, so that is cell within cell. So group of all mitochondria in cell are called mitochondrion. Okay, see in short about matrix of mitochondria. Yes, it consists of all enzymes of Krebs cycles. Yes, Krebs cycle occur in matrix of mitochondria, and the circular DNA, that is near about 2 to 10 copies are there which is present in the matrix, as well as they have their own ribosomes, that is 70S ribosomes. So as the mitochondria have their own DNA, have their own ribosomes, so they can replicate as well as they can synthesize their own protein. So that's why they are known as, yes, semi-autonomous organelle. So this is about the matrix of, yes, mitochondria. Now see the replication of mitochondria, how the mitochondria are going to be replicated. One, yes, see, parent mitochondria is present at the top. Yes, then secondly what happened, there is equal distribution of the matrix of mitochondria, DNA, and the other cell organelles are distributed in two parts by forming a septum, that is the furrow will be formed. So further this furrow separate into the two daughter cells, that is daughter mitochondria. Okay, so from one parent mitochondria they produce two, yes, daughter mitochondria. So this is about the replication of mitochondria in short. Now see lastly the function of mitochondria. So first function of mitochondria, yes, that is the ATP synthesis, so that's why it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Second, the oxidation of fat takes place in the mitochondria. Third, the certain steroids are also synthesized in the mitochondria, and the heme of hemoglobin is synthesized in mitochondria. So the mitochondria are the site of most of the energy production in eukaryotic type of cells. Yes, they use complex molecules and oxygen to produce a high energy molecule known as ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So the process is called aerobic respiration. Energy production, the mitochondria has been called the powerhouse of the cell because the energy is produced. So that's why the mitochondria is also known as powerhouse of the cell. And the mitochondria are very abundant in cells that requires lots of energy. For an example, muscle cells. Okay, so this is all about the function of mitochondria and all about the detailed information of mitochondria. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Okay then, bye bye. Thank you.